All right. Name of the time period in which curiosity and experimentation led to a dramatic increase in discoveries and inventions.
Renaissance.
The word.
Oh, Renaissance.
Revolution. Yes, Industrial Revolution. All right, which age is known for an attitude of intellect and reason?
Oh, Renaissance.
Renaissance. What medicine was used in the primitive era to treat pain?
Opium.
Which invention allowed scientists to discover cells?
Microscope.
Ancient times, what helped so spread disease? Sewer system. All right. So I got some people that are coming out of quarantine or gonna have to probably be quarantined or whatever, however it's going. So some places of importance for you. All right, so you have your class recordings. I record every class because we are supposed to record classes for those people that are quarantined. So you have all your class recordings in this folder. Makeup folder. If you have missed the safety test or you have missed the quiz that we took last week, you have been linked. As you can see, we got 22 people that haven't taken the history of healthcare quiz, 18 people that haven't taken the healthcare safety test. Study guide, we got 23 people that haven't turned it in. So I have directly linked going by my grade book. If you're missing something, then you're linked on here. So if there's anything that you're missing, it's here. Now, for end of the 9 weeks is on the 15th. You do with that whatever information you want to because, report card is going to come after that. So if you're missing work, it's your responsibility to get it in. Don't come because your report card look bad because you ain't turn your work in and you want to have a talk with me. No. If you're missing stuff, it's there. So you can go ahead and complete it. Okay? Study guide. I gave some, if you were here initially, you got a paper copy. Posted on Google Classroom, posted on Schoology. It's been floating around for a month now, so it's there. These are the safety notes. Also, make sure before you attempt to take this healthcare safety test, you need to make sure that you look at the class recordings, look at the notes, because you have to make 100% on this safety test. If you're in class and we got to kind of, not go over it, but I'm trying to help y'all with it. If you were kept missing something, but majority of everybody, got it the first or second try. Notes that we've been going over. First part, history of healthcare quiz, it's right there. So, thing is, if I tell you to write it down, that means it's a strong possibility you're gonna see it again. If it's a bell ring, there's a strong possibility that you're gonna see it again. So just sitting here looking at me, not doing your stuff is not gonna work. I mean, it could work, you're just gonna fail, but I'm just saying, like, I could just tell y'all to write notes and won't tell y'all what to write because I tell you exactly what to write down. Anybody got a question on Schoology? Okay. So today we're going to start talking about healthcare delivery systems. Give y'all something a little bit later. I'll explain it to y'all when it's due and all that stuff. We'll talk about that later. Make sure you're right now things. Make sure you're paying attention. End of the 9 weeks is the 15th. So we have to get a couple more minor grades and 2 more major grades before then. Because you got to have 3 and 6. 3 major and 6 minor is the minimum that we're going to have. So we started a little late because of the first week and a half we didn't have schedules. So I don't give our work some teachers just put out work. I don't do that. So we're gonna have the bare minimum in here. That's not gonna be nothing just gonna be dropped. I usually give more work so I can drop the lowest, but we're kind of working on limited time this first 9 weeks. So All right, so we've talked about HISA healthcare. Now we're going to talk about healthcare delivery systems. I know we're going to talk about the national healthcare systems and then healthcare facilities, and we'll do the rest of them probably later this week.
What you'll learn.
So we're going to define and understand the purpose and function of systems theory. We're going to relate systems theory to healthcare systems, identify two types of national healthcare systems, recognize the three primary goals of a healthcare system, compare private and public healthcare systems.
Systems theory.
All right. Alright, so any business, organization, or family can be called a system. A system is a group of individual parts that work together to form a unified whole. Write the definition down. A system is a group of individual parts that work together to form a unified whole. So, we're going to take, for example, this school system. So, we have different schools, different high schools, different middle schools, different elementary schools that make up Montgomery Public School system. So systems theory is a way of studying a system as one unit instead of its individual parts. So they're looking at this system as a whole, not just like JD, Lee, Park Crossing, and stuff like that. Do you need to move so you can move? Chairs over here. All right, so the theory helps to focus on the primary mission or purpose of a system. Systems theory applies to any system in life, such as the way a family operates or the way a hospital provides healthcare services. By examining a system as a whole, it's easier to understand how each part contributes to the overall mission. Each system has its own mission statement, like each company, hospital, they have their own mission statement. Montgomery Public Schools, we have our own mission statement. So the things that we do are supposed to be in support of the mission statement. So that is how systems theory works. So studying this whole system to figure out if what we're saying we're going to do in our mission is true. So additionally, system theory make it easier to pinpoint flaws in the system. So they're going to look at the whole system to see where we're weak at or where the system is weak at to try to fix it.
Do we need to know what a system theory is?
No, just system. You don't have it at all today? Oh, okay. You don't have it on you. Okay. All right, what is a group of individual parts that work together to form a unified whole? System.
Components of systems theory.
All right, so the ones that you're going to need to write down are feedback loops and controls. All right, so to understand systems theory, you must be familiar with the following parts or components of the theory. So you have input, that's anything that enters a system, object, or effort, which makes sense, is entering, is inputting. Throughput, process that converts input into final product or service. Output is the final product or service provided by a system. Feedback loops is a process of monitoring outputs to determine whether or not the system is working. Controls, anything that can point problems in a system before the output is complete. Environment, circumstance and condition in which a system exists. Goals, measurable increments that ensure the mission will be achieved. Mission, specific stated purposes. So the two that you need to write down are controls and feedback loops. So these are all the things that are the working parts, moving parts of the theory, systems theory. All right, in a system, what are money, materials, and effort examples of? Input. What is the final product or service provided by a system? Output. In systems theory, what is a feedback loop?
Process of monitoring outputs.
Process of monitoring outputs. What is the purpose of the feedback loop?
To improve future.
To improve future output. Controls identify problems in a system before the output is complete, true or false. What is the specific stated purpose of a system call? What's your statement? Mission. It's like your mission statement. A system must have several measurable goals.
Yes. True.
Evaluate the system.
All right, once the specific components of systems theory are understood, the system can be evaluated. The key to evaluating a system is determining whether or not it fulfills a mission. This is sometimes called evaluating a big picture. So in order to see if the system is working correctly, you have to evaluate and see if it is actually doing what it says it's going to do, doing what that mission statement says. What is the key to evaluating a system? Determine if the mission is fulfilled. Right. All right. Let's see if y'all can do this. What goes where? Huh? Who? Environment go at the top. Go where? Controls go where? Here?
Input at top.
Like the square to the right.
Is what?
Throughput.
Somebody said something go here.
Mission.
Goals on top of it.
Oh. All right. So you got environment, you got your input, your feedback loop, your throughput, controls, your output, goals, and then your mission.
Systems theory in healthcare.
All right, so a healthcare system is made of many small systems, which include hospitals, doctors' offices, and even health insurance agencies. These systems must be evaluated according to systems theory to ensure that they are successful and efficient. So you have your doctor's offices, your dental offices, your hospitals. Same thing. It's a system, so you still have to use your systems theory in order to evaluate to see if they're sticking to that mission.
Healthcare systems.
Nearly every industrialized country has a national healthcare system. Some countries have a system of publicly funded healthcare. Other countries use private funding to administer healthcare services. Neither system is entirely right or wrong. However, every country must monitor its system carefully. Changes may be needed to ensure that the maximum number of citizens receive the healthcare they deserve.
Public healthcare systems. Public,
All right, so you have public systems. They are mainly funded by taxes and Social Security. The advantage of a public healthcare system is that every citizen in the country is guaranteed healthcare regardless of their economic status. A disadvantage is that healthcare is not always comprehensive. What this means is that not all types of healthcare services will be paid for, so it won't cover everything. The government may decide which services are included and which are not. Another disadvantage of this type of system is that taxes may be higher compared to taxes in countries with private healthcare systems. Countries with public systems include Norway, France, United Kingdom, and Canada.
private healthcare system.
All right, so now we got private systems. Private systems are those that are funded mainly by private insurance agencies and out-of-pocket payments. So know that first sentence. Private healthcare systems are those that are funded mainly by private insurance agencies and out-of-pocket payments. In a private healthcare system, not every citizen is guaranteed healthcare. They promise healthcare only to those who can afford to purchase health insurance. However, most private systems have government-sponsored programs that provide health coverage for the elderly, disabled, and unemployed. But this coverage may be limited. The private system has certain advantages. Taxes in countries with private health systems tend to be lower because most healthcare services are not funded by taxation. Another advantage is that private insurance agencies often provide comprehensive services. Finally, private systems can stimulate economic growth in a country by providing competition among private insurance agencies. The US and Switzerland are examples of countries with private healthcare. So write that definition of private healthcare and know that the United States is a private healthcare system, or uses a private healthcare system. So we have to pay out of pocket for some things. Everything is not covered with our insurance. And it goes by, like, if you have money, if you can afford the insurance, that's how you get it. If you can't afford it, then you don't get it. We got lots of people in the United States that don't have health insurance because they can't afford to get it. If you have a job where they offer insurance, you can get it through your job, or you can buy privately. You can just go to a company and buy your own insurance. But some people just can't afford it, so they have to go without. So just know that the United States is a private healthcare system, and private healthcare is funded by private insurance agencies and out-of-pocket payments. All right, how is public healthcare system primarily funded?
Tax dollars.
All right, how is private healthcare system primarily funded?
Private payment, private insurance.
Out of pocket, private insurance. Public healthcare systems are always better than private healthcare.
True.
You think so?
Yes, because most people would have it. Most people would have it other than private healthcare. Some people not to be able to have it.
That's false.
What?
You can't say that one is better than the other. Both have advantages and disadvantages. So we're used to what we have. We go to Canada, Switzerland, we would probably be like, what is this? Just depends
Mixed
on your
system.
people, I guess. All right, so few countries maintain a purely public system or a purely private one. Most countries create a mixed system by using various funding sources to cover healthcare expenses. For example, the U.S. is primarily a private system. Most citizens purchase insurance through private agencies to cover healthcare expenses. So, like from your job, or you can go to just buy some on your own if your job doesn't provide it. However, the government has created several medical assistance programs to help the elderly, disabled, and unemployed. So that's like Medicare, Medicaid. These programs are paid for by taxes. On the other hand, Canada is a primarily public system. Canadians pay taxes into a public healthcare fund. This money is then used to cover medical expenses for everybody. So not every type of procedure or treatment is approved for public funding. Therefore, private citizens may have to pay out of pocket for certain types of medical care. So you got the U.S. where you got these programs for people that are disabled, elderly, unemployed. In Canada, your tax dollars go into like this pot of money to help pay for medical expenses for everybody. So, I mean, they both have pros and cons. Many countries have mixed healthcare systems. True. What's up? Not much. How you doing?
You ain't got no little oil chair here?
No little what?
Oil chair.
Odd chair?
Yeah.
No.
All of them go to.
Yeah. What you need a chair for?
I was just gonna go over there in the little lounge and sit down
In the what?
in the teacher's lounge.
And sit down. The couch not in there no more?
No, it's not.
Oh. There's so much stuff in there, I can't. You want to sit in there with all that stuff?
I don't really want to sit in there, but it's a place where I can just go and talk on the phone for a few minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. See ya.
Goals.
All right. So according to the World Health Organization, you have 3 primary goals of any nation's healthcare system. So one goal is to provide quality healthcare to the entire population. Second goal is to be responsive to citizens' expectations. And the third is to ensure financial protection and fair distribution of financing. These goals must be considered when evaluating any national healthcare system. So this organization uses these goals to evaluate our systems, the private systems, the public systems.
Evaluate a private.
All right, so looking at a private system, so the first question, does the U.S. private system provide quality health care for the entire population? Well, we know it doesn't. Private system provides quality health care to those who can afford it. So if you can't, then you're not gonna get it. So it can't provide for the entire population. So studies show nearly 50 million Americans do not have medical insurance. Like we said before, you have government programs that provide for uninsured, disabled, and unemployed, but it's not cover everybody because it's like a income thing, like a cap. Some of them capped with the income. Is the private system responsive to citizens' expectations? United States ranked number 1 in the world for the most responsive healthcare system. So this indicates that the system of private insurance agencies and healthcare providers is working to maintain satisfied customers. Does the private system ensure financial protection and fair distribution of financing? U.S. ranked the lowest of all industrialized countries in the area of fair financing. The United States is the only industrialized country in the world that does not have universal health care for all citizens. Because healthcare is expensive. Even with insurance, sometimes it's very expensive. Even with insurance, it's very expensive. Y'all line up. for lunch.
Evaluate a public,
Who's there?
You got a chair? Look how nice. What is my thing? Um,
evaluate a public system. Now, let's consider the
all
public
right, so we
system of
talked
Canada.
about the private system. Now we want to talk about the public system. All right, so does the public system provide quality health care to the entire population? The Canadian system is public. It does provide health care for the entire population, but several studies indicate that the quality of health care provided in Canada is not as good as the care provided in a private system. Canada citizens may have more difficulty seeing a medical specialist in their country than American citizens will have in the U.S. All right, so is it responsive to citizens' expectations? Canada ranks 7th in the industrialized world for responsiveness. This rating is fairly high and seems to indicate that the public system can meet the needs of most Canadian citizens. Does the public system ensure financial protection and fair distribution of financing? It ranks 17th. Canada ranks 17th in the industrialized world for fair financing. This ranking is considerably higher than the United States. In the area of financial distribution, Canada's tax-funded healthcare system seems to provide more coverage than that of the United States private system.
Compare. Neither.
All right, so neither the private system nor public is perfect. Each system has some high points and some low points. But all systems must be flexible and able to adapt to the changing needs of society. Additionally, healthcare providers within a system must do their part to ensure that every patient receives the best care possible. All right, we're gonna look at healthcare
What you'll
facilities
learn.
real quick, and then we're gonna pass out the other assignment. All right, so we're gonna define a delivery system. We're gonna list the components of a delivery system and identify several types of healthcare facilities.
Healthcare delivery systems.
All right, so healthcare industry is made up of many delivery systems. So a delivery system is a facility or organization that provides healthcare services. I don't think y'all need that. There are many types of delivery systems. You have hospitals, long-term care facilities, medical offices, labs. They're all examples of delivery systems. Delivery systems can be owned by private companies, belong to a government agency, or function as a nonprofit organization. Like some doctors might open their own practice, so that'll be like a private government agency would be like the VA hospital, or they might be a nonprofit organization.
Components of healthcare delivery system.
All right, so different components. You have services. All delivery systems provide one or more healthcare services to a specific group of people. Consumers, that's anybody that gets healthcare services or receives healthcare services. Have the personnel, that's like your nurses, your doctors, all those people that work in healthcare. And then your payment for services, that's the methods of payment for delivery system services. So how you pay for those things that you get. What are the 4 basic components of all healthcare delivery systems?
Product, services, customers.
You said A, and I hear C.
Services.
Yes. So you got services, consumers, personnel, and payment.
Hospitals. A hosp,
All right, so a hospital is a healthcare facility that provides health services. They vary in size, ownership, and the type of services they provide. So you have some small hospitals that do basic needs for the community. Then you have large ones. Y'all have pretty good size, large hospitals here in Montgomery because this is a big city. Ownership. Many hospitals are classified as proprietary, which means they earn a profit from their services. Proprietary hospitals are usually privately owned. Hospitals that provide their services for no profit are called nonprofit or voluntary. Other forms of hospital ownership include government hospitals and religious hospitals. So, like the VA hospital, religious hospital I worked in Georgia was called St. Francis. It was started by the nuns in however many years ago, but that was one of those religious hospitals. Then you have services. General hospitals treat a variety of conditions. Specialty hospitals provide services for particular conditions or age groups. So you might have like a children's hospital, like in Atlanta. Atlanta and Birmingham. You have the VA hospital that's just for veterans. You might have a I don't like they have the cancer treatment centers for people that have cancer like that in Georgia. I know they have some in Georgia. So it's just different places for different specialties. It could be depending on what services they provide. Hospitals vary in size, ownership, and types of services. True, they do. Which type of hospital earns a profit from the services that are provided? Proprietary? Alright.
long-term care facilities.
Alright, so you have long-term care facilities. They mostly provide care for elderly patients. Some long-term care facilities offer treatments for patients with disabilities or those in rehab. So not necessarily just older people, but you've had to go to rehab before you actually go home. They have these type of facilities as well. Different long-term care facilities provide different care. You have some nursing homes. Those are for people that can't care for themselves anymore. And then you have independent living facilities. Those are for people that can do things for themselves, but probably just don't need to be alone. So it's kind of like having their own place, but it's like in a community of people. So they might have transportation, housekeeping, and laundry.
Medical offices.
So then you have medical offices. So doctor, eye doctor, dentist. You might have some that are operated by one doctor or some more than one. And of course, like hospitals, they treat a wide range of conditions. So if you go to a family doctor, that means they'll probably treat you as an infant, as a pediatric patient, as an adult. So they have to know like a lot. They treat everybody. And then you might have some that just specialize. So if you just go to a pediatrician or orthodontist or a lung doctor, which is a pulmonologist, they just specialize in one thing. All long-term care facilities provide the same level of care. False. Family doctors examine a wide range of patients and conditions. True. Treat the whole family.
Behavioral health services.
All right, so behavioral health facilities make up a significant part of the healthcare system. They involve the connection between behavior, health, and well-being. Some behavioral health issues are the result of individual choices. Others, however, can be outside the patient's control. Medical studies show that a healthy mind is just as important as a healthy body. So you gotta even though you might be keeping your body healthy and eating right, working out, you still gotta do the same thing with your mind, with your mental as well. Some behavioral health facilities treat patients suffering from behavioral or mental health disorders. Others provide counseling to people struggling with substance abuse and addiction. Another important role of behavioral health facilities is to provide aid to victims of abuse and domestic violence. Part of that aid might involve directing patients to an organization or resource such as these for additional help. So, behavioral health services commonly encounter patients needing treatments in anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and suicide. Anxiety means to have emotional and physical symptoms that include tension, worry, and recurrent intrusive concerns, as well as high blood pressure, sweaty, dizziness, and accelerated heartbeat. Does anybody in here have anxiety or had a panic attack before? Anybody? Yeah, I've had a panic attack before. I guess I have anxiety, but panic attack makes you think you dying. Like it felt like I was having a heart. I never had a heart attack, but that's what it felt like. I couldn't explain it. It just felt like I don't know. My heart was gonna beat out of my chest. So, depression. The American Psychiatric Association refers to depression as a serious medical illness affecting both feelings and actions. If left untreated, it can affect a person's ability to function in professional and personal life. Symptoms of depression are widespread, but commonly have a negative impact on mood, interest, appetite, and sleep. So people that go through depression, they might eat too much, they might not eat at all, they might sleep, they might not sleep. You know, it's different for everybody. And then substance abuse, use of alcohol, drugs, or other substances that affect health, or school, or home life is considered substance abuse. All right, so what you need to know about substance abuse, just know a behavioral health facility is a place where you'll go if you have substance abuse problems. So behavioral health facility treats patients with substance abuse. They treat all of them, but for me, you need to know substance abuse for a behavioral health facility.
Okay, do that to
And then suicide is the last one. Sometimes depression can lead to suicide. People are so depressed if they're not getting help, not talking about their problems. It can lead to, some people committing suicide. Like I had a cousin that committed suicide before. Don't really know what like the whole backstory of, what happened or what drove him to do that, but people are in different headspaces, so you never know.
Yeah, about that, I have a friend that not commit suicide.
And that's the thing, like you never know what somebody's going through. So sometimes people can be mean, they can say stuff. Some things you say might just send them over the edge, So I try to be, nice to everybody because you never know what somebody, going through. So it's okay. Like if you need to talk to somebody, it's okay. If you need to take medicine, like that doesn't mean something's wrong with you at all. People in our culture, people have that thought that, oh, we're not supposed to go see anybody. We're not supposed to take medicine. But it's okay. I'd rather sit on somebody's couch and talk about my problems than try to hang myself or something like that. So, or take some medicine. All right, behavioral health is less important than physical health. Both are important. You need to take care of your mental. And even with all this COVID stuff, they were encouraging us to talk to people. We needed to talk. We get so many free sessions, I think, with our insurance, or take a mental health day if you feel like you need it. So these are things that you should, incorporate so that you don't like lose it.
Other systems.
All right, so different systems that we have. You have emergency care services, that's like an emergency room, acute care. That's something that's not really an emergency, but you need to be seen, and you don't really stay at that place long. Like it might be urgent care place, something like that. Ambulatory or outpatient care, that's they're usually like standalone, or they might be at a hospital, but they might be in a separate building where you'll go for like surgery and stuff. Surgery that doesn't require you to stay, overnight. Usually they call it 1-day surgery. So you'll go in like probably early in the morning, have your procedure, and then later on you can go home. So, and then you have dental clinics, hospice, labs, home health agencies. So it's like the healthcare field is somewhere where you always, should be able to find a job doing
Specialty medical and
Alright, so then specialty, medical and dental services. So you might have cosmetic surgery, like plastic surgery, for those people that like to get those BBLs and stuff, or body makeovers. Pulmonology, that has to deal with the lungs. Chiropractic, that's a non-invasive therapy involving the treatment, usually called adjustment of a patient's spine and joints in relation to the nervous system. I've never been to a chiropractor. Orthodontics, we know that's dealing with your teeth and braces. Surgical, different body systems. So you might have to have brain surgery, or on your eyes, or as a kid you might have to have some type of surgery. You have palliative care, provides care for people with life-limiting illnesses. Care may include collaboration with the patient's other medical providers, emotional, spiritual, and social support, and advanced care planning. The goal of palliative care is to provide or to improve quality of life for patients and their family members and minimize symptoms and stress related to the illness. So they might have something that's going to be lifelong, and it might, be depressing to them or to their family. Because if you have something that, people have to deal with, sometimes it gets to be a lot. So they have things in place, emotional support and stuff like that. Palliative care and hospice aren't the same. Hospice is like for people that are like, end of life, about to die. That's what hospice is. Like literally about to die, like soon. Which type of healthcare services provide palliative care and counseling for terminally ill patients? Hospice. Which type of healthcare service treats patients with sudden illness, trauma, injuries, and post-surgery recovery issues?
Acute care.
Acute care facilities. Which specialty, medical, or dental service involves the prevention and correction of jaw and teeth positions? Orthodontics. Chiropractic treatments for the spine and joints in relation to the nervous system are often called adjustments.
True.
So when they're cracking your back and all that stuff, they're adjusting.
Lesson summary. In this lesson,
Go ahead, big bro. You think you can make it? Maybe. You want invite for like 3 days? Go ahead. Or within a few hours. I ain't gonna say she will.
Hi, guys.
I'm gonna take a picture of this thing too, but I'm not going to do it. Probably better. This thing looks good. And I'm good for it. Why you got this here?
Sweet mayo, bro. That's a one piece. Right, you may take us out.
Because if your teeth are shrill, I'm acting like everybody broke.
Yeah, get that money.
Target station over there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I wasn't putting on. Look, and then my pocket's been so like, I'm on the right, like,
Alright, listen up, listen up. Okay, so I just gave y'all an assignment. Alright, so it's in week 7. I just gotta publish it. Alright. So, so you have been hired by a town planner to design the layout of a new town that is rapidly growing around the medical university. You will work with a person at your table in groups of 2. So you can work, you don't necessarily have to be at your table, but I only want 2 people in the group, okay? So you and another person. If no one is at your table, work with someone close to you, no more than 2 in the group. You must determine the necessary health facilities needed by the town. Decide with your group which medical facilities are needed and where they should be located. You must include at least 7 facilities, and you only have a budget of $10 million, so you have to be careful when deciding which facilities are most beneficial for your town. You may include more if you have money left over. You must.
You don't have a cake in here,
You must also decide where the new housing development will be located in town and strategically place local restaurants, parks, schools, and retail stores around your town in order to convenience the new residents moving to the area. Make sure to stay under budget, create a town name, and think about layout versus necessity. Alright, so on the back of that page, it tells you what you must have. So you with your partner, y'all will come up with the name of your town. So y'all, whatever your town name is, just make sure it's not anything like vulgar or like that. Alright, so you must include, you have to have a university medical school, so that's not included in the 10 million, so that's free. 1 housing development, that's free also. Minimum of 7 various healthcare facilities. So you gotta think about cost, location, and regional. Minimum of 3 other restaurants, retail stores, parks, schools, etc. that the residents of your town may need. You may include more healthcare facilities and businesses in your town if you have the money to do so, but be careful to stay under your budget. Get creative, give each healthcare facility, school, park, museum, and restaurant a name. Using a poster board, create a colorful, neat, and organized town map, and be able to justify your layout to the town planner. Alright, so next page is your pricing sheet. So remember, you got a budget of 10 million. Now let me tell you about my second period, baby. They done blew up the budget. They're talking about, oh, we need more money. They had already blew up the budget. I know y'all probably don't know how to budget, right?
I do.
Y'all probably just blow all the money y'all got, right?
No, I got.
So y'all got 10 million. So you gotta stay within. These are the prices of everything. So you got general hospitals, you got specialty, you got hospice, mental health, medical offices, you got dental, Then at the bottom, toward the bottom, you got fast food restaurants, you got Walmart, Target. Those are the prices of what everything costs. But remember, you got to stay within $10 million. Okay? So at minimum, you have to have 7 of these different healthcare facilities. So you got to have 7 of those. At minimum, you have to have like stores, mall, whatever. At minimum 3. If you got money left over, you can blow it on whatever else you want to blow. But those things are what you must have, along with those 2 facilities, the University Medical School and the housing development. Okay, those 2 are free though. So on the back is your budget sheet. It's starting you off at the 10 million. So as you're planning your town, just make sure that you're budgeting for it so you don't go over. Okay. So it's gonna be kind of like an in-class project. I'm gonna give you time each class period to work on it. So first thing first, today y'all just need to brainstorm about what y'all want to have in it. Maybe come up with y'all's town name today. And then talk about, so one person needs to at least bring the poster board on Wednesday so y'all can talk about who can get the poster board. I have paper here, and I got 2 examples I'm gonna show y'all. I have paper here, I have colored pencils, crayons, markers, scissors, glue, all that stuff. So
You have it, or
I have that, but y'all, whoever in your group, one of y'all at least need to bring the poster board Wednesday, so y'all can, actually start working on it, okay? And I'm gonna show y'all the pictures that I got. So I put 2 pictures in y'all's folder. So this one, let me turn the light off. So this one is just, they had a poster, well, I think they used some type of paper, but anyway, so they just use like colored paper and they just label everything. And they got like their streets and they got a park, they just did like that. That's what they did. So they just took paper. I guess, I don't know what this is. I guess those are roads. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure what that is, but. Okay, so they got a McDonald's. They got a Target right there. They got a Hooters, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Cheesecake Factory, and I don't know, PF Chang's, and the mall. They got all that. And then they got a post office, they got home health care, they got hospice, rehab, school. And this is their university, like that, what do they call it on here? The University Medical School, so I guess that's what it is right there. And then they got, I see dentist, they had optical center, all that stuff. And then the next picture, all right, and then this one, they actually made like a road and made little, I don't know, some of this, I don't know what happened, it's leaning a little bit, but tornado came through it, but they actually like drew the roads in the grass and all that stuff. So y'all see? Alright, so Wednesday, make sure one person brings the poster. I will put y'all's name on it, decide who you wanna work with. And then I'll have the supplies and stuff here. Friday, I'll probably give y'all like almost the whole class period to work on it. So, but Wednesday y'all need to start because I'm gonna give y'all some time Wednesday as well, and then we're gonna do it like that. Y'all have any questions? I posted these pictures in Schoology. If y'all want me to send them to Ravine, I can send them there. If y'all want me to. Second period wanted me to send them both places, so. It looks like it. They got real detail, huh? I don't know what that says right there. Amityville. That's a dental office, lab. No, that's Target. I guess that's the hospital or the school or something. I don't know what that says. Y'all have any questions? Y'all understand? Mm-hmm. Alright, so now y'all need to be brainstorming and decide who's gonna bring the poster board and whatever.
I know what I need to be.
Yeah, that's perfect.
City girl time. Girl, I'm different. You gotta have a kindness for work. So I can't abort the child. You gotta have it.
Minimum. You gotta have that too. Minimum.
I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta wear shoes.
I don't know, the one girl, she had put down, I think she had already.
Oh, let me
She said, it was, somebody said one of them brothers.
Grocery store.
Your mama hot.
No, you don't. You can get some coffee out of the we still got money left.
University Medical Center.
It's 4 million. It don't gotta be 10.
What are we gonna name it?
Government hospital. General hospital.
She said, sure. She said, sure. So, she doesn't see what you're doing, or you see the conference? I mean, you know, that's why I'm asking you.
Do you think we want Yeah, right there, back there.
Mazda RX. Not name the car. You don't need a dental office. What about Honda Civic? Who's it?
Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
You gotta name all that stuff that the school system.
No. Okay, so I had
Yep. It's right here.
okay, we got it. We got this. Right now,
No, we can't.
look, right now, right now,
Oh, who I got brainstorming on that?
yeah.
Who I got, what else I got?
Hatchet field.
Look, she over here calculating. Y'all done got y'all budget together? Huh? You don't even know how to spell it.